Alright, what I'm going to show you in this series, you won't be able to see it anywhere else. We are going to develop a brand new product, a KTM rear brake pedal. We are going to talk about time. We are going to talk about all different kind of effort that goes into it, and we're also going to talk about money. So I'm going to show you around the shop. I'm going to show you what specific parts and equipment we have in order to make this brake pedal. We are going to talk about marketing. We are going to talk about how much thinking really goes into it in order to make something better than the OEM one. So first of all, let's talk about why I have this shop over here. And the reason for that is saving money. And you may think it sounds silly to having a $150,000 machine over here, but that's actually saving money for me. And the reason for that, when you are making a new product, all you have is an ideal, and you want to have that ideal a reality. And all you can do is just to tell somebody what you have, or maximum you can draw something up, but not much more. And you're gonna go and see somebody who can translate that into an actual product. That takes a lot of money. So much so, it starts out from $15,000 to a $50,000, and then all you got is maybe one prototype. And as you're gonna see, one prototype is not gonna be enough if you wanna satisfy your customer. You need to make a number of prototypes, which is costs you much more money. There you go, a little excitement. So now, since we cleared out why I have this shop over here, I really want to start with something what I've been trying to do and try to communicate from a very long time, and so far I constantly failing on that. We are going to talk about why is the product what in the US made it cost as much as it cost. There's a lot of comment every time when we post something in a US made product. A lot of you saying that's too much, it doesn't cost that much to make it, why the price is so high. So let's talk about why is the price so high. So when you're developing a product, you need a lot of things like this, what you see over here, a machine which is capable of running a very specific way, very dialed in, very precise way. You need to have equipment which is serving the machine, which is making the parts. This is a compressor, and it's taller than I am. And that's a tumbler made in USA. This thing alone, $4,000. This is around $18,000. And we're not talking about anything else what's in this shop, which is quite a lot. But you get the idea when you including a cost of having all of this into the product what you making or you going to make. That's cost number one. Cost number two, specifically on this brake pedal, this block of aluminum cost $53, 6 pounds. And when we are done with it, it's pretty much weighs nothing, but it still costs $53 alone. If you take this to China, the aluminum cost over there, it's a fraction of that. I would say if this piece of aluminum over there costs between $8 to $15, you cannot compete with that. But when you're making something in the States, has its own stamp on it and its own meaning. So what that means really, we are taking the $53 on these parts alone, and we just take the best out of it and make it to you guys, so you guys can have something with an American made product. So step number one is a pretty straightforward process. We're pretty much removing material much as we can from the block of aluminum. As we're going deeper, these parts holders are going to get quite complicated. We made these specifically for the brake pedals. These parts actually can hold 6 brake pedals over here. Oh, it goes like this. You can put 3 over here, and you can also put 3 on the other side. And pretty much the reason for that, so you can drill these tiny holes over here and you can do your tap into it. This is another one what we made just to machine the top side. And the tricky part of these parts, if you're making all of that and if you want to make any changes on the parts, then you kind of have to redo all of this, because you kind of screw yourself up, because it won't be the same anymore and it does not sit the way it sits right now. The reason why I show you this, because we have a number of prototypes what we had to redo because it was just not good. We're gonna get into it in a second. But as you can see, you're making all of these fixtures just so you can machine these parts alone, and if it's wrong, you have to make changes accordingly. So this is how the OEM brake pedal looks. This is the new model for the 23 and up, which has the spring hole over here. All the older models has a spring up here. It's a different design. And the reason why we don't like these brake pedals, because if somebody riding hard enduro, it probably has an experience of these things breaking or bent in a way, and you have to just swap it out, and it's cost like $120 or $130 to replace. So I decided to make you guys something what won't break but bends under the impact, and it's been bulletproof and tested on a Sherco by Codivab. But since that's for the Sherco and this one is for KTM, it takes a totally different needs to be able to install it on the KTM. So what you see over here, this is our first step or to develop a product. This is a 3D printed brake pedal. It costs around $2,000-$3,000, and only reason you have this so you can actually have something in your hand and you can see how it looks like, how it fits, and that's step number 1. And then step number 2 is the developing process, and it starts with this block of aluminum which is get machined out, and the product will look like something like this. These are all prototypes what you see over here. We made it and they pretty much all of them wrong. This hole, it wasn't scanned properly, so I wasn't able to put a bearing in there, and I never actually fit it on the bike, which has caused me a problem of making the first prototype wrong. This is the one which is we put it on the bike and found out there is a number of things wrong with it. Number 1 is this angle, it's not right. The bolt what goes in there, it didn't flush with the frame. Number 2, this area which is holding the spring, it's not in the right place. It's supposed to be out here. So the other change we made on the pedal, I didn't like this distance over here because I wanted to have it adjustable. Some people like to have a different kind of tip which has adjustability options, so you can move it over here back and forth. And because of the way we designed the pedal on this one, that won't allow you to do that. The reason for that, if you look at the OEM brake pedal, it's quite skinny compared to what we have. That's pretty obvious. So what I was after, I wasn't trying to oversize it by increasing the size over here. I kept it the same layout over here, but I made it thicker by raising the upper area. So this brake pedal is bigger and it's oversized from here to the top. And the reason for that, because that way you have a same clearance. So let me give you an example how to drive your machine operator nuts when you're making changes. So I have this notch over here because I want to have the brake pedal flexes from here all the way down. The OEM brake pedal actually flexes from here down, and that's why it bends over here, because it's designed poorly. So this notch, it's not big enough or deep enough order to have it bend properly from here. My way of explaining to my machine operator is to grind this over here, and now he understands which route we need to go down, at least I thought, so he made this. We mounted this on the bike and there still wasn't enough flex. So again, I told him we need to make changes, and we ended up coming up with this. And with this notch, now we'll be able to have the brake pedal flexes nicely. you can see how much it flexes. And the good thing, it flexes from here, so it won't bend. This is one of the good things about this brake pedal out of the many. The other nice design feature what we have is this line over here. Stiffen the brake pedal up significantly. Look at how big it is. The stock, it's like a joke compared to this one. The other interesting things worth to mention, we're removing material from here and here. If the racers somehow messing it up, they can take it in and out very easily with no problem, and they can replace it in a few seconds. So if you want to see the final product in the box, I recommend you to subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comment section. That's really helpful for the algorithm. See you guys on the next one.